This is Morten from INKISH. Today I have the pleasure of talking to my good friend and colleague, Mark. You live in Chicago today, Mark, right?
Yes, outside of Chicago, correct.
Mm. So you moved recently from, was it Georgia to Chicago? I mean, how is the weather? Is it cold there, or is it okay?
It's okay right now, but it's starting to get a little cooler. We might see some snow tomorrow, so we'll see.
Mm. See, we have been working together for, I think it's just before Drupal we started, and I didn't expect you to be a Drupal, but then we decided to make that into a test of collaboration, and I think it's turned out pretty good. So, what is your view on? I mean, you work with other media, so what is your view on working with Inkish?
I think the Inkish approach, Morton, as we've discussed, is pretty refreshing. Trying to bring a little bit more insight, analysis to the writing and to the coverage, the video coverage. Like the buzzword that we like to say in the industry is adding value, and I really believe firmly that's what Inkish does, and that's what we're trying to do with this new initiative.
Before we get into that, I was, as you know, blown away by the work you did for us on the very first of our English Max Executive, where you wrote an entire magazine about Jonathan Seibold and all the Seibold thing. I mean, in your career, is it normal that you have so much space and time to dig into one topic?
No, I mean, it's funny because when we first discussed that project, when you said long form, I wasn't sure what long form meant because, nowadays it seems like anything over 1,000 words or 1,500 words is long form because, the rap is people don't read anymore. But as we've discussed, they'll read if it's content that they want to read. So I think that Seibold magazine came out to something like, I think it was over 8,000 words or something like that. It was like 20 pages of stuff, which was kind of a nod to the old Seibold report itself.
Definitely, and I think that especially the people that knew about Jonathan Seibold and his father have given that magazine a lot of credit to you and to Inkish for being the publisher of it. So I hope that also that it makes you proud of being able to write something like that, because I think it was a fantastic work you did.
Oh, thank you. And yes, I'm very proud of it. It was fun to really, dive deep into a topic and immerse myself and talk to, as many people as I talked to. So it was different, but it was a lot of fun.
Now we are on Monday, 25th of November. We are opening a new chapter in both our relationship with each other, but also as part of the Inkish story. INKISH.NEWS has been on live for some time, but it's never really. It was actually quite successful during COVID because people had time to read, but then we have not really found the form. And I think that what we are doing now and having you on the team is, I think that gives us a lot of opportunities. Maybe you can just tell our audience a little bit what news is all about.
Yeah, well, we've been kind of tweaking and fine tuning this phenomenal content management system that Inkish has developed, and I'll let you get into more of that, Morten, in terms of the international scope of it. But the bottom line goal is to kind of provide news and, as I said, more insight and analysis, not just quote unquote regurgitating press releases, but actually giving a little perspective to the news and what it means to the industry. So that's kind of what we're trying to build, and I think it's going to just get better and better as we move forward.
It's funny you mention that, because one thing that is I would almost say a pronoun for me is being stubborn old ass, right? And I was just thinking that when we start to work, it also kind of come clear that there are differences in let's say how Americans and Europeans work, but I think we have come to something that is starting to become, I think it can be really interesting, because I mean, of course we bring news, and as you mentioned, we don't just bring press releases. We actually try to understand and digest it, and in some cases shorten it, and in some cases dive even deeper into that. Do you think the market is ready for this? Because I mean, I think that a lot of our competitors out there have basically published press releases for years now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the market is ready for it. It's something that used to be more the norm, a generation ago. It's kind of a fine line. You know, we obviously don't want to bite the hands that feed us, but on the same token, you want to ask tough questions. I think our journalistic integrity is only enhanced by that, and that's really what the readers, you know, the end users, if you will, of the INKISH product, who are the PSPs, the print service providers out there. That's what they want. So, you know, deeper dives if warranted, and asking more pointed questions that, you know, perhaps the marketing people aren't as comfortable answering, but they need answers to.
And I think that both of us, during the time where we have got to know each other, excuse me, is on the same page when it comes to that. If it benefits the PSPs and the converters, it should be beneficial for the industry. So it's not a matter of diving into deep and difficult and complex questions. It is just trying to answer the questions that we hear when we visit printing companies. I always find it a little interesting that as a, let's say, European-based media, we are the one that have visited most printing companies in North America. And it is kind of interesting because that's when you are out with the printing companies, you really get to understand, okay, what are the challenges with technology? Where is the challenge of education? How difficult is it actually to get qualified labor? And all those things that I believe we will also touch upon in our new platform, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think getting out there, like you say, amongst the printing companies is key, and not only, you know, the positive side of what's working, but, you know, what maybe is not working so well, or what could work better, and, you know, open up that proverbial can of worms, so to speak.
Do you speak other languages than English?
Unfortunately, I do not. I should have paid better attention in Spanish class.
But the reason I'm asking is because one of the things that I find interesting, everybody is talking about AI. And we are in the content platform that we have developed, we have integrated ChatGPT 4.0 to make translations. So far, I think it's into 11 languages. So we have like Chinese, Japanese, Thai, Arab, French, Spanish, Portuguese. I mean, a lot of the like the larger languages and more will be added to it. And of course, I know that having ChatGPT as a translator is only doing a certain percentage of the work. But I mean, before I tell a little bit more about how we will manage that, maybe you can tell what does it do to you when you see an article or a news that you have digested and put into the platform, and then you suddenly see it in a totally different language. I mean, what does it do to you? I'm curious about that.
Yeah, no, it's almost just kind of an awakening. It's sort of like going to Drupa and, you know, realizing that, oh, you know, this industry is so much bigger than we think it is when in our not little, but in our North American vacuum, you know. And you realize that, wow, there's so many other people in so many other countries speaking all these different languages that you know, have a desire to get this kind of news, and it's really exciting that they're going to be able to get it now. And you know, kudos to you and you know, as far as incorporating the latest technology and being able to get this done. I know we're still tweaking it, and it's got a little ways to go, but we'll get there. And I don't think it'll take very long.
No, when we go live on Monday, I think we are quite close to having let's say, what we have agreed to be, let's say, version 1 of the new platform. But what we will do very soon hereafter is basically that in each of the languages that we represent, there will be a person that is from the industry that natively speaks the language that will prove. And on our articles, there will be a symbol showing whether it's AI or a human. And basically the idea is, of course, to make sure that we get our own training materials. So when we have everything human proofed and we start to make our own GPT using ChatGPT technology, basically it becomes better and better in translating the things, so we can be hopefully the best and the fastest in the market to bring content out to the world. So also from a technology perspective, I have been quite intrigued with being part of the development of this platform, and you've seen how it works, and soon people will be able to see that. So Mark, the news we bring is, of course, a lot of it is what you also find on other websites, but you as a news desk editor, this is the last question, you as a news desk editor, how do you look into content and make a decision whether this is interesting from an editorial perspective, from a user perspective?
I think the biggest thing, Morten, is just kind of having a critical eye and trying to determine whether it's puffery, PR puff or real news, and kind of making that distinction. And again, coming back to the PSPs and whether it's important for them or not. And like you said, there is a separate section on our site, for press release content, which is fine. But we're striving to make this a little bit different and a little bit more added value. And I don't know if you want to go there, but the other exciting thing that you mentioned to me the other day was some of the search functionality with companies. Do you want to talk at all about that? Because I think that's pretty exciting as well.
Tell me about it.
No, I want you to tell us about it, because you're the expert when it comes to how it works on the back end of the CMS. But you were explaining kind of how companies can search for their company or other companies, and the information will come back to them. It's pretty high tech stuff.
I don't know if you refer to the /search function that we have on INKISH, but basically it allows you to content is only valid if it can be used for something, if you can learn from it, if you can share it, if you can use it to promote your business or for whatever kind of purpose you have for sharing information. So obviously it needs to be found easily. And we have two things that I think is quite unique. In the newsletter that we sign up, you can say that I'm only interested in Canon, or I'm only interested in Heidelberg, or whatever company or technology you're interested in. And then when you sign up for the newsletter, you only get information when those search words actually appear. And what that has given us is like opening rates in the 60s, which is unheard of in most newsletters. So that is like the one thing you can do with it. The second thing you can do is also that if you are in say INKISH.NEWS /search/ and then you say Canon or Heidelberg, then you will get the same result without even entering the site. And that makes it possible for a lot of, let's say, integrators and web integrators to integrate a news stream that is relevant for themselves about the news clips that we provide about these companies. And I think that is pretty cool too. The last thing that we will bring to in a very soon iteration is also a subscription to an XML file. That basically means that everybody who wants to use the content on their own website, either in full or in portions or by company or anything like that, can subscribe to that XML file and basically use that to make a ticker news or import it to your own news site or whatever. So we're very open about sharing all the work that we're doing. So I don't know if that was what you were referring to, but that was what came to mind when you said it.
Yeah. And also just to a side note, obviously those searches and those links come back to all the great tens of thousands of videos that INKISH has done that are out there, and again that content is pretty phenomenal. So people can find that as well.
Yeah. So the very idea about this is, of course, to build a entirely ecosystem where we say that news needs to be available where people are. So INKISH TV is maybe a little bit more when you dig into a topic or a company or a learning session where you spend a little bit more time. And I can tell you, I don't know if you tried it, but if you take your mobile phone and you just swipe through the new INKISH News site, it is an amazing amount of content that you have already created, and it looks super cool, and it's nice with the photos, with the swiping, and this is, in my view, this is just how news should be. So I'm very excited about this, and it's just 5 days from now we go live, Mark. So
yes.
So still we need to continue having that eager to just go on, right?
I'm excited, and I know you are too. So it's gonna be a fun ride. I'm gonna buckle up.
Please do so. And Mark, in just 2.5 weeks, something like that, I'll see you in Copenhagen for our non-event. So just last thing, what are you looking forward to that, or is that leading too much?
No, I'm very much looking forward to coming to Denmark, and more importantly to seen all the influencers that are going to be at the non event. I think I saw on LinkedIn yesterday you posted something like 170 countries or something are going to be represented.
I wish there was only 17 countries. I have a friend, Klaus, that said that now we only 178 to go. So there's still some way.
But 17 countries is still pretty impressive.
Yeah. And it will be exciting. Mark, again, thank you very much. Thank you for being part of the INKISH team. I really appreciate working with you and the work you've done so far in INKISH. I look forward for other people to be able to see that, because I think that we are onto something here that will rock the boat. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Morten. I look forward to it.